up, you phonies? How's it going? And welcome to another video. Today we're gonna make something very cool in Blender, something you can use in almost all of your Blender scenes, and they're gonna make them better. Promise. We're gonna use smoke assets. We're gonna make them translucent so they are only visible if the light hits them from the back. Because if you observe smoke, it always seems like it's only visible if it's backlit. And we're gonna achieve this effect with two-dimensional smoke layers. So basically just planes, pieces of paper. So it's not three-dimensional at all, but it's gonna look three-dimensional, because if you actually want three-dimensional smoke, a smoke simulation, that is gonna take a lot of time to render, a lot of time to make. If you're interested in making that, I have a video right here, you can check it out. But if you want the easy way, the dirty way, I'm going to show you how. And let's go. We are here in Blender. All I have is my camera and my Mihal. And now I'm going to show you how to import smoke assets. So in order to import smoke assets, you obviously need some smoke assets. The ones I'm using are either the ones from Video Copilot or the ones from Ian Hubert. Especially those are great. I can't give those to you because they're purchased. That wouldn't be fair to the creator. But there are tons of free assets online. I'm gonna put a few links in the description, and I hope you're gonna find something you like. So if you found something you like, the first step is you have to Shift A and then go down to Image and click on Images as Planes. If you don't have this option, go up here to Edit, Preferences, click on Add-ons, and here you type in Images as Planes. Turn this on and then save Preferences. Now you're going to be able to use Images as Planes. Now you have to find your smoke asset. So this is my smoke. Obviously, right? No, obviously it's not obvious because we don't see anything, because we have to go to our viewport for shading. Now when we bring this up a little, we can see that there is smoke going on. But the problem is we can't see through because all we have is a black background and the smoke. So we have to remove the black, but not just show the smoke. We only want to show the parts of the smoke which is lit from the back. And all of that is very simple. It takes a few tries until you really understand and remember how to do it, but just follow along, it's going to be great. So click on your plane here. The first thing is we have to open the shader editor. That's what it looks like. Here on the left, that's our smoke. This is right now connected to the base color, and that's connected to the material output. But that's not what we want. Delete the principled BSDF, hit Shift A, search for transparent. That node is going to help to make everything what's black transparent. Now we need another node called translucent. Here it is. Now keep transparent on the top, translucent on the bottom. Now Control, Shift, right click and drag from one to the other. That's going to create another node. It's called the mix shader. So it's going to mix those two together. Now if we connect the shader into the surface, we're going to get a 50% smoke and 50% transparency, and that's not what we want. What we actually want is use our smoke video and connect it with the factor of our mix shader. Now voila, you can see the smoke but not the black anymore. But keep in mind, we're still in the viewport for shading. Once we are in cycles, like on our top here, it's going to be way harder to see because we don't have any lights. So let's fix that. I'm going to have one spotlight here looking over his left shoulder. Let's make it stronger, let's say 100. And now we can already see the smoke becomes visible. And that's exactly what we want. So only what's hit by the light is going to be visible. You can see this is his shadow right now. It's very sharp because our light source is very sharp. If I increase the radius, it's not as sharp anymore. And that's exactly what we want. Now, if you feel like you have enough lights, your light setup is done, you still feel like you can't see the smoke enough, go on your translucent node, click on the white, and under value, just increase the number. 2, you can see the smoke more, go 5, you can see it even more, as much as you want. Me personally, I usually keep it on like 2 and not higher than that. Now, what is it good for? What kind of scenes can you use it for? Anything where there could be smoke, there could be haze, there could be even clouds. You can make clouds like that very easily, and it's always gonna look great because those assets are real. It's real smoke you put into your CG scenes, and you can bring your CG scenes better, closer together, match everything. It's awesome. And the cool thing about that is, because it's translucent, it's always gonna take the color of your light. Let's change the color to, let's say, pink. That's my color. You see the smoke is pink. And if you see real smoke, it interacts the same way. So now I'm gonna show you a little more practical example where you can use it, like this little scene. It's basically, let's call it a race scene. They're ready to go. I just made it like in an hour or so. We can see this is like 2 cars. I believe it's a McLaren. And this here, fun fact, this is a Maluch. For all the Polish people or know about Poland, this is it used to be a very popular Polish car, a Maluch, basically like a Mini Cooper, but an old and shitty. But it's actually very nostalgic to see that here in 3D. That's pretty cool. Anyways, that's besides the point. So this is my little scene here, and we can see here through the camera. I'm gonna change to cycles, and in cycles we can already see how our smoke is coming out of the engine. I'm gonna show you where my smoke is. I have 4 different layers. Smoke in front of the engine of the McLaren, smoke in front of the Maluch. Then I have another smoke layer right behind the cars, but in front my little Mihao, because that's something I always recommend. Stack your layers. 1 in the foreground, 1 in the middle ground, and then I also have 1 in the very far back, very big. One more thing I really recommend doing, let me show you that in this scene. This here is our smoke layer. The problem is, if we go around our subject here, and let's look at him from the side, since it's just a plane, our smoke layer is going to be flat. It's not going to be very visible. But there's a cool trick where you can have your planes move with your camera. This is my camera, this is my plane, and wherever the camera goes, it always rotates with the camera. And that helps really to always have the smoke visible. I also use that when I do green screen effects, have people on a green screen and the camera is moving through the scene. It also rotates with the camera, and I'm going to show you how to do it. Select your smoke, go to Object Constraint Properties, add a new one, and go to Track 2. Now here under Target, select your camera. Now it doesn't matter where your camera is. You can see it on the bottom layer. I'm going to move the camera up here. Wherever the camera is, the smoke layer is going to rotate with it, and that's very cool. So even if we copy this with Alt-D, I'm going to make an instance. I'm going to have another one in the back, a little bigger. It's very close to the light. If this one was behind the light, it wouldn't be visible anymore because it's translucent. If you still want a smoke like behind the light visible, then you can't use the translucent node. Then instead you would use an emission node. Let's mute this one, connect this one with the shader, and now it's just visible, but then if you want to adjust the color, you have to do that manually. So I really recommend not doing that unless you really have to. Use the proper way by making it translucent, forget about the emission. But it's really up to your scene, depends on what you're looking at. So I can't really tell you what to do, but it's definitely helpful. So now one more thing, if you feel like it's too repetitive, if you use the same smoke twice, what you can do is you can adjust the track axis. The easiest way is instead of -Z, you go to +Z, and now it's just flipped. You can also use Y, for example, then it's upside down, but usually I just use Z or -Z, and that should do the trick. Now we can see how cool the smoke is moving. I love this, and I use it all the time, and I can only recommend it to you too. So now we're here in our scene, and I did the same thing. I layered my smokes throughout the scene. Very important is that you turn on those lights. If you want to see those the smoke here, you have to have a strong light source. So the braking lights, I had to turn them up a little, and I also turned up my street lights here, so you can definitely see the smoke. And just in addition, just in case, I also have a spotlight here, so we can definitely see it. In case you wonder what that is, since I have a little camera movement here, let me show you in this view, it's faster. I always like to place foreground objects. Has nothing to do with this tutorial, but a little tip on the side. It just looks more cinematic if you do that. And that's it for this video. I hope that was all clear. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments below, and see you in the next video. Toodaloo!